Good morning, world, and welcome to what will be just a fantastic and another fun-filled episode here with us on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. As we just embark upon what will be another great episode this morning. We thank you all for chopping it up with us. We thank you in advance for a time that will be had. And so, yes, world, we are back like a shark attack, back like we left something, back like we ain't got no clothes on our back. And for the world is a better place in the moment when the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast is taking place. And so, thank you for tuning in with us this morning as we converse about the latest sports topics that have taken place in this past week and will be upcoming this week. It is always a blast to have you all tune in and participate with us every weekend. It is always a blast to have you all just be reminded as well of everything that we have going. And so we would like to remind our audience that the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast can be found on Facebook via our two Facebook pages. You can find us on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast community page, which is the page for a community where we have posts, we have interactions, we have just a lot of activity. And then on our Early Morning Sports Talk podcast Facebook page. And so the difference between the pages, the community is more so a small knit community, whereas with the Facebook page, it's a variety of followers. And from there, we have a lot of reels, a lot of TikTok, a lot of different things in that nature compared to the community page, where it's just more so community, latest topics, conversations, things in that nature. And so, additionally, you can find us on Instagram at EMSTP underscore, again, on IG at EMSTP underscore, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify as the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, as well as our own Facebook pages via Brandon Price, Jamar Goodman, Cal Lee Watson is in Jones' name right now, as well as our guest of that weekend, Mr. Kerry Knox. Today is January 3rd, 2026. This is the first year of 2026. And we have seen yet again another fascinating week in the sports world. Well, on last Sunday, our Chicago Bears were playing what would be likely the NFL game of the year, fellas, versus the San Francisco 49ers in Santa Clara, in which there was an absolute shootout between both teams, and it came down to the last drive. Of course, the 49ers offense was what we thought it would be, but their defense didn't show up at all. And so there's a lot of question marks from this game, and it leaves question marks as well with the Bears and what the Bears could be. But now, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, the Bears have a battle as well versus the Detroit Lions this weekend, in which they have to slay this division foe in order to lock up the number 2 seed in the NFC, in which the Chicago Bears control their destiny. Additionally, the NFL has finally come down to the final weekend of the season, in which game 2 of the NFC Championship Series, that's right, you heard me, Kerry, game 2 of the NFC South Championship Series. I know it sounds like baseball, but it is the NFL. It just so happened that the Panthers and the Buccaneers meet 2 of the final 3 weekends. So we decided to call it the NFC South Championship Series. And so that game would actually take place today, as well as the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Seattle Seahawks tonight as well for the NFC West Championship, in which the winner of that game would lock up number 1 or the number 1 seed in the NFC and get a first round bye. And so big games going on today. But on the other side of the AFC, we got the AFC South, which will be decided in the final weekend as well between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans, who are scorching hot. They are winners of 8 out of 10. And then the Jaguars are winners of 7 straight. And so talk about the AFC South right now. And so a lot of NFL taking place, a lot of big games, but we can't forget about the college football playoff. We looked like idiots picking last Saturday because a lot of the picks that we picked did not come to fruition. Oregon was probably the one pick, but outside of that, Georgia got upset and stunned by Ole Miss. And I guess maybe Lane Kiffin not being there for Ole Miss was a blessing in disguise, because this team is now marched on to the semifinal and played a great game against the Georgia Bulldogs. Additionally, the mighty Ohio State Buckeyes, former national champion, will lose to the U, and maybe now the U is back. University of Miami, great defense, opportunistic defense, and they ran the ball and they controlled the game, and they knocked off the mighty Ohio State Buckeyes. And so just upsets all over the place. And so Ole Miss will take on Miami, and then Oregon will take on who is it? Remind me, Kerry. Oregon will take on which
Indiana.
team? Indiana, and which Indiana, thank you, crushed the Alabama Crimson Tide. And I don't think some people saw it coming, but I don't think people saw it coming the way it happened. And so Indiana appears to have arrived, and that was a huge statement win for Indiana. And then lastly, outside of speaking of the week-to-week activity, we have seen an incredible year in the sports world. We're doing this morning session of the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. We will review this year in sports, reflecting on the best and worst moments of 2025. And so, with that being said, introducing our guest of this morning on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, Mr. Kerry Knox. Mr. Kerry Knox is a fellow believer like myself. He believes in the cross. He believes that Jesus Christ died on the cross for our sins so that we can have a chance at everlasting life. And so this is a man of God. It is always a pleasure. This is his second time being on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. And so Kerry has written multiple books. Most recently, his book, I Believe, which is a daily devotional of 40 days, in which he talks about success stories revolved around the University of Illinois athletic program. It's out right now on all platforms, and we had Kerry on. We had the privilege to have Kerry on for that book, and so that book is out right now. And then additionally, I'll let him tell us about his first book, and additionally, he is writing his third book. It is a devotional for children 8 to 12 years old, and so he'll tell us more about that. And he is also an ambassador for the FCA football camp, which is the Fellowship of Christian Athletes football camp. And I remember going to that as a young man. We would go over to Indiana to do that football camp, and it was a fantastic time. And so this camp is offering just a lot of opportunities to collaborate with young men, young athletes, and give them the Lord while they play the game that they love. And so with no further ado, Mr. Kerry Knox, we thank you for joining us this morning on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I appreciate being on with you, and I anticipate some give and take and some agreement and maybe even some disagreement.
All right. I look forward to that. That is the whole purpose of sports. That is the whole purpose of free conversation. And so we look forward to it, sir. And so additionally, Jamar, he is just running around a little bit, but he'll be with us shortly. And so introducing my brother from another mother, my partner here on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, Mr. Jamar Goodman. He'll be with us shortly. And so, and additionally, possibly Mr. Ian Jones, a.k.a. Rod Tidwell, a.k.a. Peoples Hernandez, a.k.a. Callie Watson. Mr. Ian Jones, our brother, will be with us as well. He's just getting to the bag. And so, with that being said, Kerry, oh, there's Ian right there. There he is. And so, Ian, good morning, bro. How are you? Let me make sure that that's pulled up.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Ian, can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. And so, putting you right on the spot, and introducing my partner here on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, and our brother from another mother, Mr. Ian Jones, a.k.a. Rod Tidwell, a.k.a. Peoples Hernandez, a.k.a. Callie Watson. Mr. Ian Jones, my bro, what it do? Good morning.
How y'all doing this morning, fellas? Blessed is a blessed
Good,
day.
man.
Be alive.
Yes, sir.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to both of you.
Happy New Year.
Yes. Yes, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. And so, fellas, with that being said, let us get into some sports and Happy New Year to everybody. Mr. Kerry Knox. That'll be coming up quite often this morning, Mr. Kerry Knox, okay? But we got to get into the NFL. And so we'll start with Ian to speak on the NFL. Once Jamar come in, he'll chime in as well. And then Kerry will follow up with you at the end, and I'll get our tags going. And so, Ian, pretty sure you saw the game, man. What happened this past Sunday night, and are there any positive signs to take away from this game?
Uh, Offense looked efficient. I know, a couple. I think Roma Duze was still out.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I know he's a key piece to the offense, but the offense looked good, especially Luther Burden. Guys, a young player like Luther Burden stepping up, and he going over 100 yards, and the run game was still there. It looked good on offense. The defense, both defenses kind of struggled, and it was pretty much a high scoring game, entertaining
Right.
game. It literally just came down to the last play, last couple yards. So, particularly in a game like that, it's always going to be whoever has the ball last. But it was a good game. They just end up being on the wrong side of the the scoreboard in this one. But I think they'll be fine. Defense probably got to tighten up a little bit. It's tough to go against Cal Shanahan's offense. He's a offensive minded juggernaut. Um, and the 49ers are just in stride right now. I know they had Brock Purdy was injured in the beginning of part of the year. Mac Jones came in and did a damn good job to keep them afloat, and Brock Purdy just kind of picked it up, and they kind of in stride now. No Brandon Ayuk, he probably won't be back, and Christian McCaffrey, he had a hell of a game the other night.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, they just in stride. I mean, so as well as the Bears, they in stride as well with their running game and the offense, and just one of those games. Whoever had the ball last probably a particularly win, and they had the ball last, but get another play or two, they may come out and win. Just an all around good game. Probably the best game, the best primetime game we've seen, or one of them. Definitely one of them, but might be the best primetime game we've seen in 2025.
Right. And that's a lot to say, Kerry, because that Packers and Bears was just a classic a week ago,
Yeah,
like
Yeah,
the week
yeah, yeah,
before.
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, it was.
That was the crazy part. And we just saw a classic, and we were just saying last Saturday, and remember? Oh, the game
Yep.
of the year, Bears Packers, great game of the year. We were just saying that, Kerry, and then on Sunday it just turned out to be another classic. And so I tell you what, Kerry, and I'll let you go. If you got tickets to the Bears game come the playoffs, I think you probably got one of the best tickets in the NFL because the Bears should produce a great game because they've been producing them all season.
Agree with that.
They've been having thrillers all year. And so,
Yeah.
Ian, you still got a chance to get on the boat, Ian. But we'll
Yeah.
take on Ian's Detroit Lions tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so, Kerry, what did you think of the game? I'm sure you possibly had a chance to see the game.
I
How are
did.
you feeling about the Bears?
They are dynamic, and uh, they play like their coach has them ready. That's for sure. He's
Yeah.
definitely the leader of that team, and
Hmm.
they've lacked that for several years, where the head coach was the leader, and he's without question the leader, and they believe in him, and that's so important for a team to believe in their head coach. And I think for the first time in a long, long time, the Bears have a head coach that the team can rally around. That Green Bay game, Green Bay had that game won. It was a little bit different than the
Hmm.
49er game because certain things had to happen late in that Bear Packer game for the Bears to win that game. And I'm sure the Packers are kicking themselves for, not recovering that onside kick and then giving up that game-winning touchdown. But the 49ers and the Bears are very, very similar. High octane offense on both teams, and then also both teams have a hard time stopping the other team. And the playoff race is so wide open. The NFC
Hmm.
is wide open. The AFC is wide open. We could you could see any number of teams make the Super Bowl.
Hmm. Yeah, and I'm with you, Kerry. I've been thinking of that like for about 6 weeks now, to where I'm looking at the NFC and I'm not seeing a definitive team that's just there to annihilate everyone. Like Detroit last year, it was pretty clear it was going to be between them and the Vikings, and that's what it came down to last year. But with this year, it's been kind of up in the air. The Niners just 5 weeks ago was an afterthought for the number one seed. No one
Yeah.
thought that. Everybody thought it would be between the Rams and the Seahawks. And now we look, the Rams are somewhere at the bottom of the tote. Um, and they're still in the playoffs, don't get me wrong, but at least for the seeding for the NFC. And then now you have the Seahawks and the 49ers. And so,
That 49er, if they win, they will spend the last 5 weeks at home. If they
exactly.
if they win against Seattle, they don't go on the road again if they keep winning. I don't know if
Hmm.
that's ever happened before.
I don't think so. I don't think that's ever happened before. I don't remember that in my lifetime. Ian, do you?
No, and you know what? I think that's why they do the scheduling a little different now as far as like I noticed like these last couple of years with the division games, a lot of teams had those division games like within those last 3 weeks, and they play each other like a week from each
Right.
other, like twice, like two times. So maybe that's why they got it like that, and they know those last couple games come down to playoff seedings and people
Hmm.
getting in the playoffs. Like
They want drama.
yeah, like the Panthers and the Bucks, they play for the division this weekend, and the Ravens and the Steelers play for their division,
The
and that's
Rams and
ultimately what.
the Seahawks and the
So yeah,
49ers play tonight.
right, right, right. So I guess it's cool that way. It's entertaining, and it's something to have us geeked up about, man. It's definitely entertaining. So we definitely gonna. I think those teams, they all gonna put on the show for sure.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. They better put on a show because there's going to be a lot of eyes on these games. Tonight, the 49ers and Seahawks, everybody should be watching that when it's a Saturday night game for the number
Yeah.
one seed in the NFC. And then the 49ers, it'll just be a great story for them to get the number one seed, especially after where they come from, all the injuries they've had. Fred Warner out, Trent Williams, he was put out of the game last week. You've been all year without Brandon Ayuk. It'd be a great story for San Francisco, for absolute sure. And so, game of the year. And so, it was a great, great game to watch. The one thing I want to ask you guys, and just in rebuttal, did you guys see Caleb Williams progressing to where he is now? Did you think that his ascension in would be this quick after watching how he's been playing for the last few weeks?
Um. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, it comes down to it's simply just a player buying into to a coach's philosophy, and I think not only Caleb has bought in, but the team has bought in. I think we're seeing the results of it. So I won't say that I'm surprised. I think maybe I'm surprised that it's happening this quick per se. Got to think about it.
Hmm.
It's still his first year in this offense, and you
First
know
year with a new head coach.
yeah, the team as well. So, but it looked like it's a perfect match made it happen. So hopefully he keeps developing and growing. Every week with every play, every game. Um, and hopefully it's not a drop off. And you might look up and they might be the next. I don't want to go too far, but they might be the next. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. You know. like that. They might have that player coach relationship, but who's to say? We'll see. But as of right now, they're like it's a perfect match.
Right, right. Carrie, my question to you as well is, did you think that Caleb Williams would ascend to the level that he's playing at right now in such a fast manner, being that this is a first year head coach, first year offensive coordinator, all the crap he went through last year with Matt Eberflus, multiple offensive coordinators last year. This is his third offensive coordinator in his second year. And so, just did you think he would be where he is as fast as he
Well,
is?
I tell you, I'm a big believer in um, young quarterbacks needing uh, terrific head coaches, especially from an offensive side. And you can point to a lot of reclamation projects. Like Sam Darnold was a failure with the Jets. Zach Johnson
Hmm.
failed with the Jets. But Baker Mayfield failed with the Browns. And once they got with coaches that could help them along, they became stars again. And if you look
Hmm.
in Jacksonville, for instance, Trevor Lawrence, we've been waiting for him and been waiting for that team to break out. And Liam Cohen goes in. He was a offensive minded coach and has really rallied that team. And Ben Johnson has taken Caleb always had the physical tools, and everyone knew that he could spin the ball like no other. And Ben Johnson has put him in a place to showcase all the great things that he can do. And
Hmm.
it's so important. When you think back when Patrick Mahomes was drafted into the Chiefs organization, a gifted player, he could not have landed in a better spot than with Andy Reid and all of his know how. And if you look at Josh Allen, for instance, if Josh Allen goes to the Chiefs and Mahomes goes to the Bills, I don't know if everything is just reversed.
Hmm.
It really depends on where you land as a quarterback. It's
Yep.
so important to be surrounded by guys that are perceived as almost genius like from an offensive side of the football.
Hmm. Yeah.
Totally. I
Hmm.
totally agree. I totally agree.
Yeah, it depends on where you land. And so, Jamar, we were talking about the Bears, bro. Just curious, man. Any positives, any things that you got from that game last Sunday that the Bears can take with them this weekend and going forth into the playoffs? And just give us your thoughts from that Sunday night football classic that took place last weekend.
Oh yeah, that pretty much solidified for me that the Bears can play with anybody,
Yeah.
especially from a blow for blow standpoint. I mean, we knew the Niners as a dangerous team. They have been, especially on the offensive side of the ball. The coaching job that Kyle Shanahan has been doing this year is like second to none, considering they don't have their two stars on defense and Brock Purdy missing a good chunk of the year, and they still
No
find a way to put
IU.
up
Trent
points.
Williams was out last week.
Correct. And then the fact that they did not punt against the Bears was the first time they punted the football since like November 17th or something crazy
Yeah,
like
which
that.
Right.
is
So
which is crazy.
so the fact that the Bears were able on a primetime game, Sunday night football across the country to go blow for blow with that team and had the opportunity to win the game,
Hmm.
that should tell you that they can play with anybody in the conference or probably anybody in the league at that point. And we know the defense. It's definitely hit or miss with a couple of things. I mean, the pick six to begin the game, that was great, but outside of that, like I've been saying, Brandon, the pass rush is non-existent. Every now and then,
Yeah,
you'll
it
see
was
somebody back
awful,
there,
man. He
and
Booker made about one or two plays, and other than that, he was on the sideline pretty much.
yeah, man, it, and that's just due to I would say a lack of talent on the defensive line. I mean, other than that, I mean, I feel like this team should have a lot of confidence. And more than likely, we'll see our Wisconsin foes in the first round. But nevertheless, I think this team will be all right. I mean, technically speaking, I feel like we're ahead of schedule, but I'm enjoying
Thank
every
you. That's
moment of it.
exactly what I was gonna say, man.
Yeah, it's like we're playing with house money here, and I'm okay with that. Like, I mean, as far as us being Bears fans, it's not too many times that we have a season like this. So I just one of those. I'm enjoying the moment, um, and just riding away pretty much. So yeah, takeaways like we can play with anybody. That really solidified it for me. So
Right. Absolutely. You've seen the Bears play great games this year. Jamar, the one thing I want to say, bro, is after watching them Sunday, I mean, it was just another great game. Whoever got tickets to the Bears wild card weekend, bro, at Soldier Field, based off of how the Bears have played all season, it appears to me that the Bears likely have had, or whoever has those tickets has the best ticket, probably in the playoffs, because the Bears have played some great games, and it's highly likely, based off of how they played, they might end up playing another great game come wild card weekend.
yeah,
No.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. And so, fellas, let's talk about 2025, the year in review. Got a lot to talk about. Seen a variety of different things that have happened in 2025. Let's talk about it. And so, Carrie, we thank you for joining us. And we're going to start with talking about the best moment of 2025. Okay, the best sports moment of 2025. There's a lot of candidates here. Okay, and so let's begin. We're going to go with you, Jamar. We're going to follow up with you, Carrie, and then we're going to follow up with you, Ian. And so, Jamar, we'll start with you. In your opinion, bro, what was the best sports moment of 2025? Here are some of the candidates. The World Series. We saw such a classic that took place in October, Carrie. It was, in my opinion, the best World Series I've ever seen. No disrespect to 2016. The best World Series I've ever seen. Just everything you needed from a standpoint of competitiveness. Tyrese Halliburton, the point guard for the Indiana Pacers. Shots heard around the world. Game 1 Eastern Conference Finals, Madison Square Garden. Game 1 NBA Finals, Oklahoma City, Chesapeake Arena. Two fantastic shots that could be heard around the world. For my golf fans, Rory McIlroy. Um, I mean, he did about everything you can do on a standpoint of playing great golf. So that was a great moment. Guys, the MLB All Star game for my baseball fans. The game was so good that it went to extra innings and they had a swing off. And the NL won 7-6. That was the first time that ever happened. Um, then we got Terrence Crawford, his dominance over Canelo Alvarez. But there's so many moments. And so, Jamar, what was your best sports moment, bro, of 2025?
Man, definitely a lot to choose from here.
Mm-hmm.
This year didn't disappoint in that regard. So I'm gonna pick one slightly off the list, and I'll pick one on the list. The one that I picked slightly off the list, and I could be a homer with this one, but you know what? I don't care. The Bears actually, you know, oh, I guess hiring Ben Johnson
Hmm.
for
Okay.
me. Cause that pretty much let me know, for one, like the Bears they're not being cheap. They're actually going to go out and get the guy that everybody coveted. For two, the results that we've been shown so far, like how much of a difference of having a head coach can do to an organization, just like that. So, that's the one slightly off the list. On the list, man, now Brandon, I'm definitely in agreement with you as far as the World Series. Like that was phenomenal. That especially that game 7. I still remember that game 7 like it was yesterday. Because heck, us three was in the chat talking about it. I think while the game was happening.
Mm-hmm.
I was in disbelief. But I guess the other one I'm gonna point to is I guess for me Terrence Crawford. and Alvarez.
Mhm.
Knowing that for whatever reason, if I'm not mistaken, I think Alvarez was the favorite, and just all this bad talk about Crawford. He can't do it. He can't do this. Like he's going to get knocked out. Alvarez too powerful for him. This, and that. And for him to go out with that being his last fight and pretty much dominate the fight from what I remember. And
Oh yeah, he dominated it.
yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, that fight was on Netflix. So just to have all that happen, and for me that was a pretty good moment. So that's all
Right,
that.
right. Yeah, Kerry. Thanks, Jamar. What was your best sports moment of 2025?
Well, it was mixed. I would say that World Series was indeed the greatest World Series that I've ever witnessed through the TV, and there was a different reason for me, and I really don't like what the Dodgers are being allowed to do. I don't think it's good for baseball. That's just my opinion. I think it's going to, when they go to collective bargaining, I think it's going to be a real tough time for baseball. I don't know if we'll get a contract or not. I was actually rooting for the Blue Jays, just to be honest, partly
Mhm.
because of the Dodgers' approach to trying to win. I
Now, when you
believe in
say their approach, are you saying because they have deep pockets, they can buy
yes,
pretty
yes.
much a roster with all the money they have?
Exactly, exactly. It's really an unfair advantage, and it's been around for a long time. The Yankees
Right,
have
but
done
because
it.
I was going
The
to say
Red
with
Sox have done
The
it.
Yankees have done
Yeah,
that for
yeah,
years.
yes,
The
they have.
Yankees, even the Cubs in 2016.
Yes, but what Los Angeles is doing is really, I mean, it's beyond what those teams did. I mean, they're just buying up everything. I don't think it's good for baseball. I like to see teams that
Yeah,
draft
from the
players
ground
and
up.
develop players and develop a team and not necessarily buy a team. That's just me. The other thing was Rory McIlroy's when he won the career Grand Slam. I was really
Yeah,
pulling for him. If you've never played golf before, it's hard to understand how difficult a 4-foot putt is with everything like that on the line. And we actually saw
mhm.
him, kind of choke a little bit. I've missed 18-inch putts before with my three sons watching. I can't imagine what it'd be like to make a putt with that on the line. And he finally did it. And I was happy that he did it. The career Grand Slam is something that very few golfers have done. So I would say, from a team standpoint, the best moment was that World Series, that fight between both teams. Honestly, deserved to win that World Series.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, and then Rory as an individual would probably be my greatest sports story of the year.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Gary, for pointing out Rory McIlroy because what he did was unprecedented. What he did as far as a Grand Slam, I don't think that's been done. It's been years. It's been quite some time, and so it had to be pointed out in the early morning sports talk podcast. And so, fantastic outing this year. Just a great, great year for him. Great year. Really, really good year. And so,
Wait, can
in
I can I cut in? Can I cut in just for a second? Hey, I
yeah.
forgot. I forgot. And I don't know whether it was 2025 when the arrest happened at the was it the PGA? I guess it was PGA when Scotty Scheffler got arrested for going around the orange cone or whatever.
Hmm.
I can remember watching that on TV, and I see him in his orange jumpsuit, and I thought, what in the world has just happened? And
But
then
Scotty Scheffler, he had a dominant 2025 too.
he did, and including get with the arrest. I mean, it was for him to come back from that. I mean, I'd be rolled up in a ball on the couch for the rest of the year. I wouldn't be able to function with all that attention, negative attention. And he almost won the PGA after
Yeah.
getting arrested, and then went on to win what, two of the next three.
Yep.
Fascinating story on his part.
Yes, yes. Scotty Scheffler was honorable mention for the best sports moments, as well as UFC's Islam Makhachev, who had a dominant year in sports as well in the welterweight and cruiserweight weight class, taking care of many, many, many opponents and tying, I believe it was Anderson Silva, guys, for the most wins in UFC history. So shout out to Islam Makhachev as well. But we still got to ask Ian, man. And out of all these candidates, bro, what was your best sports moment of 2025?
Uh, the two that you guys said for sure. Rory, definitely. The World Series was one for the ages for sure. I think probably one of the best World Series we've probably seen in the last. I was in the last 25 years for sure. And we had some other great ones, but that one is right there. Um, I think I would say Terrence Crawford as well. Terrence Crawford, that was a great moment. Um, Seeing Asia Wilson win again with the Aces, I think that was a great moment in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this one is biased. My Ohio State, my Ohio State Buckeyes winning the national championship earlier in 2025. I know they lost a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
um, it's a lot of them, man. OKC seeing Shaq get that first ring, and the great moment that Halliburton had, the run that they had. You just hate to see him go down like that.
Yeah.
In Game 7, that was a moment. He had a moment in Madison Square Garden. That was he had man. They had a hell of a run. The Pacers.
Hell of a
Uh,
run.
yeah. Man, it's a lot of great sports moments. I think those would be the biggest. I would probably say the Pacers run and the NBA Finals, the World Series, um, Asia Wilson and Rory and Terrence Crawford. I think those are probably the biggest in my opinion. And the Bears been making it interesting these last couple weeks. um, they made it interesting in December, especially with DJ Moore putting the Packers to bed. I think those would be my favorite though.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And so we'll talk about the game of the year soon. But let us now, since Ian was talking about moments, let's talk about the worst sports moment of 2025. And so this one's very interesting too, because there are a lot of candidates here. Maybe this is bringing back some nostalgia, fellas. And we're going to head to Asia Wilson, by the way, as well. And we ain't forget about her. Um, but some of the candidates for the worst sports moment of 2025. I don't know if you guys remember the Shannon Sharp fallout with the IG model and the accusation that ended up getting him fired from ESPN, end up just kind of ruining him in a lot of ways. And so, Shannon Sharp fallout. At that moment, it was the worst sports moment of 2025. Um, Tyrese Halliburton, Game 7 injury of the NBA Finals. Just a sad, sad thing to see. Really bad to see, man, from a competitive standpoint, and to see him on the court the way he was and how it was at the moment that it was is one of the worst sports moments to see in general ever. Additionally, the Luka Doncic trade, guys. I don't know if you remember that. Good
Yeah,
morning,
that was
Rhonda. The Luka Doncic trade from the Mavericks and Nico Harrison, and just how he approached everything and how he looked and how cool he looked when the team was just an abysmal. He was
yeah.
just looking like it was normal. And so that was a crazy moment, man. Jake Paul fighting 60-year-old Mike Tyson, Kerry Knox. Was that one of the worst sports moments? An exhibition match, or even Jake Paul getting knocked out by Anthony Joshua and Vengeance later and how he got knocked out, how when he was on the ground, he said, wow. And so
Mhm.
obviously he got hit with some power. The WNBA fellas, I don't know if you remember this, Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner, getting told on by Nafisa Collier in relation to Caitlin Clark and what she's done for the game, and Angel Reese and some of the others, and how that whole story just unfolded and how it was the biggest sports story at that moment. Former Michigan football head coach Sharon Moore and him clapping the cheeks of one of his who wrote this clapping them Jamar, come on, bro. Like Sharon Moore, what he did in regards to the University of Michigan and just that whole story. And even the draft night for Shedeur Sanders. I know we remember that, and how
Yeah.
everybody in the world was watching, and this kid just getting passed over and passed over and passed over until he eventually got drafted late in the round by the fifth or sixth round by the Cleveland
Fifth
Browns,
round by the
and
Browns. Yep.
fifth round, thank you, and now he's a starter. Wow. And so there's a lot of moments here, but Jamar, bro, what was your worst sports moment of 2025?
Oh man. So I definitely feel bad for Tyrese Halliburton, because I feel like we was robbed from an epic Game 7 finish on that. So
Absolutely, man.
it was pretty much outside of that, the last two that you mentioned like really sticks out for me. The Sharon Moore one, that one is like about as crazy as it gets. Um, 1 minute you are the head coach of a prominent football program in Michigan. Next minute you are,
In jail.
being arrested and, breaking into co-workers' homes that you're having affairs with and like ready to kill people and knives and stuff. And then the mug shot of him going, it's just like, wow. Like that was probably the most WTF moment, like for real. And then, yeah, the draft, that like there's no way to this day you cannot justify what had happened. I'm not saying that Shedeur is the greatest quarterback of all time or anything. However, there's been quarterbacks that was drafted ahead of him that had no business going in the rounds they were going, and to this day I feel like people trying to sweep that under the rug. But when you have, I mean, for one, Dylan Gabriel, there's no way that he should have been drafted ahead of Shedeur Sanders, let alone like they're on the same team. So it's like the Browns doing Browns things on that. What's his name? Jalen Milroe, whatever his name is. Ain't no way he should have been drafted in front of Shedeur Sanders. Initially, like when we heard of Tyler Shuck, like who is this dude? But apparently, he actually came out to play. So I'm not like too upset with that. But there's others out there, and I'm just sitting here scratching my head. And there's teams obviously that need quarterbacks right now, and it's like, hello, like I said, Shedeur isn't the greatest quarterback in the world. However, consider the circumstances and what he's been able to do with that franchise compared to the other quarterbacks that have started this year with that franchise. I mean, you can't tell me that collusion didn't happen or anything like that. So yeah, like it sucks, but he's trying to make the best out of the situation. But we know what really happened.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, man. That was just a crazy thing to watch, and everybody's like, "Are we serious right now? Are we really, really serious right now?" And so, thank you, Jamar. And bro, I mean, Kerry. So, what was your worst sports moment of 2025? I mean, there were a lot of candidates: Shannon Sharp, Tyrese Halliburton, the Luka Doncic trade, Jake Paul and his fights, the WNBA, Kathy Engelbert, Sharon Moore, draft night for Shedeur Sanders, or just something else that maybe we're not thinking of. But what was your worst sports moment of 2025?
Well, it would have been interesting to see Game 7. No one really gave the Pacers a chance, including myself, and they very well could have won Game 7 if Halliburton had been healthy. But we didn't get to see it. I think the Moore thing from Michigan, it's sad. Right and wrong usually wins the day, and good and bad usually wins the day. And Sharon lost the day, lost his career, lost his family, and I don't know that you could get a more in your face tragedy than that. I mean, he, like Jamar said, he went from being the head coach at one of the top 5 schools in all of college football to being fired with cause and losing his salary and losing his family, losing his respect. Um, I do think that somebody couple years from now will give him another chance. I think as a society, that's the way we are. And I think that's the way we
Yeah.
need to be. Everyone deserves a second chance.
Yeah.
And I think he will get that. Hopefully he will correct his own self and become a better person, and that he can show people that and get another chance.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And so definitely an in your face moment. On the other hand, Ian, what was your worst Spurs moment of 2025?
Uh, I would say Halliburton going down, but not even just Halliburton. I think during that what playoff span, like a month or 2 months. I won't even say 2 months, like a couple weeks. I think we've seen three superstars. What go down? Jason Tatum,
Yes.
Halliburton, and Damian Lillard. That was
Mhm.
that sucked. For for basketball. At the worst time. Especially with Halliburton going down in Game 7 of the finals, and like I just stated, the run that the Pacers were on. Nobody expected the Pacers, to be in the finals, and to be on the run that they were having. They were playing some exceptional basketball, and
Mhm.
Halliburton was at the forefront of that. And as a sports fan, whether they're your favorite team or not, and as a competitor, you hate to see things like that. And just as well as even the Celtics were losing, Jason Tatum, and they were on the trying to defend the title, and he goes down early, and Damian Lillard goes down for the Bucks, and you don't want to see stuff like that. I think the Sharon Moore, I think that was probably might be the biggest, I think, of 2025. Granted, it happened a couple weeks ago, but I think that might be the biggest one. Like you guys stated, like Jamar said, you come from coaching at easily one of the top 5 most prominent football programs in college football history, maybe. Um, so you're on top of the world one day, and the next day the world's on top of you. Everybody makes mistakes, and hopefully he can correct them, and have this time to think about what happened, and how he could have did things different, and just like Kerry said, just try to better himself during this time. Hopefully get a second chance. But I think I think those two moments, seeing those NBA stars go down, and I think Sharon Moore, um, what happened at Michigan, and
Right.
right before bowl season too. That was just pretty big.
Yeah. Yeah. Tyrese Halliburton, that injury was just really bad. Um, yeah, we've said it plenty of times, Kerry, that if Tyrese Halliburton did get hurt, I firmly felt that the way he was playing that first quarter, it was going to be a moment to see him just do that for the rest of the game, because he was likely going to keep that up. And so, because you saw he was feeling it, he was on one. And so to see
Mhm.
that happen was really really sad, especially when I had picked the Pacers and the people had the Pacers losing in the first round, and to see them make it to where they were in Game 7 of the finals, it was just right there on the tip of the iceberg for them to just
Mhm.
silence every single critic. And so that really sucked. But the Luka Doncic trade for me as well. How do you go from the NBA Finals in 2024 with one of the biggest superstars in basketball, one of the best players in the world, and you trade him for Anthony Davis, who is No disrespect to Anthony Davis. He's a great player when he's healthy, but everybody know that Anthony Davis is always hurt. He's never available, and you trade him for Luka Doncic. And so to see that happen was just absolutely crazy. And to see the reaction from the fans in Dallas and to see how unhappy they were and to see how they were protesting outside of the stadium, that was just one of the worst sports moments and one of the worst sports moments you'll ever see in history.
Yeah.
Not just 2025. That's just in history. Special shout out to Shannon Sharp for falling for the okie doke. He got sued. And then Sharon Moore. But it's so many moments, man. Jake Paul getting knocked out by Anthony Joshua. That was just hilarious. And then Shedeur Sanders, everybody know, like, come on, that shouldn't have happened. And then even lastly, with Kathy Engelbert, and to see what happened with guys, somebody's background is really loud.
It might be. It might be my wife's using a microwave. Maybe is that what you hear?
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kelly.
All right, cool. And so, yes, but it's all right. No worries on that end, fellas. There
Sorry
was
about
just a
that.
lot of moments.
No worries.
It's all right. It's all right, Carrie. And then we obviously know about Kathy Engelbert. And so hopefully the WNBA, before we move on, fellas, they can get their collective bargaining agreement taken care of before the late spring, because if not, that WNBA season won't take place. So they have to get their collective bargaining agreement taken care of as well. But fellas, let's progress. The game of the year. So there's a lot of candidates here as well. And I'm just curious to know, fellas, what is your game of the year in 2025? Some of the candidates, yes, might include our Bears, guys. Packers at Bears, just a classic a couple weeks ago. But then last week, the Bears and Niners, classic. Game 7 of the 2025 World Series. I don't know if we've ever seen a dramatic game like that. As far as an individual game, maybe 2016, yes, that game 7 was a thriller as well. Canada, USA men's hockey. I don't know if you guys watch hockey, the Four Nations Championship game. Oh, that's probably one of the best games you'll ever see. 3-2 overtime classic. The French Open Classic. Carlos Alcaraz over Jannik Sinner. Man, that was one of the best tennis matches you'll ever see. NBA playoffs. I mean, the Knicks Pacers, that game 1 was just about as thrilling as you could get as far as a thriller. So many games. I mean, game 5, guys. Game 3, excuse me, of the Phoenix Mercury, that Las Vegas Aces and the Seattle Storm. Vegas Aces could have easily lost if you remember.
Mhm.
Gabby Williams and the Seattle Storm had them up, I think, by 4 points in the final 8 seconds, and a miracle happened. A total miracle. The Aces could have very well ended up losing in the first round rather than winning the championship, but they prevailed. And so it's a lot of game of the year candidates. And so, Jamar, man, let's start with you, bro. What was your game of the year in 2025?
Man, so I'm gonna give one near and dear to my heart, and I'm gonna give one that was just bonkers. The one that was bonkers to me was I mentioned it earlier. That game 7, man, that was something to behold, because the Dodgers, as we know, it feels like they're this generation's New York Yankees in a sense, to where they spend the money, bring in the talent, and we expect them there every year. This past year was a little different for that team, because in years past, it was more so the bats getting it done. That particular time, the bats wasn't really there. The pitching was, keeping them in games, and it felt like that the Blue Jays was outplaying them every sense of the way, and somehow, some way in that game, they found a way to just keep it tight, just keep it close, just enough for for the magic started to happen in the ninth inning, and then like every pitch felt so intense, and that is the beauty of playoff baseball and why I fell in love with watching baseball to begin with, just because of every moment counts. Like in basketball, you can miss a couple of shots or turn the ball over and make up for it, but like in that moment, ninth inning and beyond, it just really felt like every single pitch or every single swing or at bat, whatever the case may be, it felt like it mattered that much. So yeah, that game weighed heavy on me. And then it could be a little recency bias here, but the way that the Bears won that game against the Packers, the way that all that transpired, the magical moments, like the Bears pretty much being outplayed for the first 57, 58 minutes of the game, and then all of a sudden, what they call them the cardiac Bears or whatever the case may be, just pulled off magic and covered onside kicks and the 4th and 4 to tie the game where it seemed like he overthrew the man, but it was a perfect toss. And then, Malik Willis, fumbling, snapping overtime on that 4th down to probably one of the most beautiful throws I've ever seen in my life to Ian's guy, DJ Moore. And the way that stadium erupted, that was the loudest I ever heard Soldier Field in my life. I've been to a couple of games, but through my TV, that was the loudest I've ever heard Soldier Field in my life.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Thanks for that. And Kerry, what was your game of the year in 2025?
That's hard to argue about without mentioning Game 7 in the World Series. And I know this didn't occur in 2025, but the Ole Miss Georgia game the other night was what a ball game, especially when you factor in all the drama with Lane Kiffin. He's actually getting paid. He's taking it to the bank still from Mississippi. Ole Miss is still paying him for every victory. And I know it's 2026, but I wanted to throw that out there because it was what a fun game to watch. And I was kind of pulling for Ole Miss, having their head coach leave like that, and the assistants dig in there and take over. But as far as 2025 goes, I'd have to agree. The Game 7 was just phenomenal. And to think that the four of us, the five of us, were able to witness that I'm thankful for that. That was what a Game 7.
Yeah. Yes, and bro, what was your game of the year?
How we like to say it, Jamar? 1, 2, 3, Cancun. I think it was definitely that Game 7. I think, like you guys said, Game 7, arguably, was that Game 7 probably the game of the year in the World Series. Yeah, like had a couple games like the Tyrese Halliburton in Madison Square Garden. That was a game. The Georgia
Packers,
and Ole Miss game.
Bears.
Yeah, the Packers and Bears.
Georgia, Ole Miss. That's 2026, fellas.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I mentioned that. I had to throw it out there.
Yeah, but it was a great game.
Y'all missing that Ravens and Bills week 1. That was a great game. Remember that Ravens and Bills, Jamar?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, that was a great game as well. I know I'm forgetting a game. It's gonna come to me when.
Is it NBA, NFL, college? You sure it ain't the Bears? You sure it ain't Detroit?
No. I think those would be it. The World Series is hands down number 1. I don't even think it's close. I think like you guys said, the Bears put on the show and I think for the Bears game, I think why it was one of the games of the year, just because of the whole mantra of the Bears can't beat the Packers. It's a primetime game. They're at home. The Bears in first place. The way that the Bears lost to the Packers a couple weeks before that,
The build up.
yeah, the build up and it being a night game and it was on Saturday, right? Saturday?
Yep,
Yeah,
Saturday
Yeah,
night.
and
yes.
pretty much the winner of that game essentially would have won the North. So it was a
One
lot
in
at
North,
stake.
yeah, yeah. And like I stated a couple weeks ago, seeing DJ Moore catch a similar game tying touchdown like that in Carolina, takes his helmet off, and then
Oh,
get a penalty. He gets a penalty. He gets a penalty. They miss the field goal. They go into
he won it.
overtime and they lose the game. So
He won it,
to
lost
see
the game
him,
at the same time.
right, so to see him come back with Chicago and end up winning the game like that, and him being cheap shotted by Nixon early in that game, and then to catch the
Hmm.
game winning touchdown on him at overtime. It was like a full circle moment. It was a full circle moment. The crowd erupted. Primetime game, big game in the division. It don't get no better than that. It don't get no better than that.
Right, right. Yeah, Packers Bears guys, game 7. We've been talking about that pretty much since October. So game 7 definitely. But guys, this Carlos Alcaraz and Janikson, I don't know if anybody's big into tennis, but man, it had to been one of the best tennis matches ever. For that to go 5 rounds, every damn set 7-6, fellas. You hear me? Every set.
7-6.
That don't really happen a lot.
No, not at
I
all.
mean,
No.
they were going at it toe to toe. I mean, I'm like, gosh, this is just drama at its best. And so to see that French Open Classic happen, that was for me actually one of the most competitive. And I know Game 7 of the 2025 World Series was, but that drama was just like that in the French Open Classic, fellas. I mean, it was like neck and neck, like real talk. But Game 7 of the 2025 World Series takes it for me because I just never seen a game like that. And we stated even before the series started, Kerry, that the Dodgers would have to work for that World Series like they've never ever had to work for a World Series. When I say literally, they had to work for every drop, every piece, everything in order to win that World Series. It just goes to show you, man, that that's a great team, great organization. I know the money talks and it walks, but it had to take some teamwork in that because
It did.
it had to because the Blue Jays were the ultimate competitor, the ultimate competitor.
You triggered a memory. I forgot about that series. Game 6, the ball getting stuck in
Yeah,
the wall. I forgot about that because it
I
wasn't for
mean the
that,
fact that they were, yeah,
it wouldn't have
the
been a
fact
game
that,
7.
Yeah,
right, bro, the
absolutely.
fact that they were down 3-2. The fact that they were down 3-2, like most teams don't come back from that. It's hard to come back from that,
Especially
especially
on the
when you got to
road.
On
go
the
on
road.
the road.
Yep.
Right, Cherry, when you got to go on the road to do it and you done blue home field, it just doesn't happen. And so,
Right.
uh, yeah, man, that was fantastic. And so, fellas, let's now progress with the greatest championship run in sports. And so, SGA, Oklahoma City Thunder, fantastic year. Aja Wilson, 2017, 3-2. Shohei Ohtani, I mean, pitching and hitting. Let's not even
Insane.
forget about Game 4 and winning the NLCS. That he had three home runs, and struck out 13 people. Um, yeah, I've never seen that in my life. Um, Roy McIlroy, his grand slam, guys. Sam Bennett, 15 goals of the Florida Panthers carry for them to get back-to-back championships. The Florida Gators, men's basketball, Ohio State football, and um, it was a lot of great championship runs. Who are you going to give it to, Jamar? Who had the best championship run for you?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go SGA.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it to Shea, and that's because when you say the run, I feel like the run for him was from start to finish, from the beginning of the season all the way to the championship. Because
honestly, nobody at the beginning of the season thought that Oklahoma City would have done what they done per se, and the dominance that they've done. Now I understand the finals was magical and we got robbed of that moment, but SGA was on another level, and like I haven't seen shades of that type of dominance maybe since Kobe to a certain degree, just based on how he was getting hit. He can get his shot at any will, and no matter who you throw at him, he was going to get his, and the team was going to get theirs. And number one seed, and pretty much we were waiting for what they say, the shoe to fall or whatever the case may be, and it never did. It didn't. Even though I was picking them last year, I was still kind of waiting for something to happen, and it didn't. And
Right.
There was people picking him to be a better player than the Joker at the time, to a certain degree, and that says a lot. So from start to finish, the Thunder, the small market team, ran through the West, did what they had to do, finally got over the hump. Yeah, I have to give it to him. I mean, if Shohei had a better World Series, I probably would have given it to Shohei, but from start to finish, I can't. It's hard for me to argue against it, Shay. So.
All right. I'm really interested in Ann's response now. Kerry, which athlete had the greatest championship run for you?
Well, I'm going to go against the grain here a little bit. I'm going to say Saquon Barkley with the Eagles.
All right.
He got out of the Giants' purgatory, and it's really twofold, because the Eagles won that Super Bowl in dominating fashion, but it also prevented Kansas City and Mahomes from creating a legacy that no one else had been able to create. So it was you had the Eagles winning, you had the Chiefs losing in convincing fashion, and then you throw in Mahomes' injury this year. I think it was a changing of the guard in some ways, not necessarily for the Eagles to take over the NFL, but it was a sign that Kansas City was they were wounded a little bit, and that Super Bowl showed just how less dominant that they were earlier in a few years ago. So I would say I really enjoyed the Barkley season. Came out of Penn State, was just a phenomenal looking running back, and to see him do what he did, I think that one time where he jumped over the player and
backwards. So yeah.
Yes, it did a little backward twist. I would say the Eagles and Barkley.
Yeah. And bro, which athlete had the greatest championship run for you?
Athlete or team?
Athlete.
I probably would say as well, because I was gonna go with the Eagles and Saquon as well. I would say, Saquon for sure. Like you said, getting out of New York, and New York is still abysmal, both teams. Uh, Saquon Barkley rushing for 2,000 yards. I'm still mad they didn't, play him that last week so he can break the record. I feel like you gotta let him break it for the O line, for the team. That's a big accomplishment. That's something that ain't been broken since the 80s, I think, with Eric Dickerson. So you gotta let him break that. But nevertheless, they came and dominated the Chiefs, stopped their three-peat. And Saquon Barkley, he was the face of that. They don't win that without Saquon for sure. They had that same team, but they're Trent talking about the Bears go win the Super Bowl. They don't win that. They don't win that, without Saquon. So I think Saquon and uh SGA for sure. Just with him and Jokic going back and forth, who will win the MVP, and they just had an awesome year as a team. And he was the forefront of that as well. So I think those two for sure, Saquon Barkley
I'm
and
shocked you didn't say
Asia.
Asia Wilson.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
shocked, man. I'm
it's
shocked,
kind of
man. I'm shocked,
it.
man, because generally
We
you always point out Asia Wilson, dog. What's going on
yeah,
with you?
I think we all knew Asia was gonna do her thing for sure. You know, so I think it's kind of like I don't know. We might be taking it for granted. You know how you watching greatness and you don't really, I think we
Don't
do that
appreciate
as a
it.
side.
Yeah, don't
We don't
take her for
appreciate it.
granted, man.
And then when they go and be like, man, we was actually watching this in real time and didn't really appreciate it. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
think it's one of those things for Asia. Um, I think when it's all said and done, I think she'll be top three, easy.
Okay, yeah, and we talking about the championship run athlete. If for me, it's between Asia Wilson and I'm going
Hmm.
with guys who won back to backs. Okay, I'm going with the back to back champions. Asia Wilson. What is it? 3 out of 4, right? In 3 out of 4
Yeah,
with the
they
Aces.
three. Yeah, I think they 3 out of 4 now.
Three out of the last 4. I mean, just tremendously impressive. Um, Shohei Ohtani, for him to have the championship run, the entire playoffs, even minus the World Series, but he did show up in a lot of moments in the World Series. He gave up some hits, but he showed up an overall championship run. And then Sam Bennett, guys, Florida Panthers, 15 goals in the playoffs. That's not easy. And to go back to back against the Montreal Canadiens, and which you beat them 2 years in a row, Kerry, in which
Mhm.
they got the best player in hockey, which me and Jamar know as Connor McDavid. We've talked about him for years as the best player in hockey. And for them to do that in game 7, that was a great championship too, guys. And
Mhm.
so, I mean, it was a lot of great championships. And to see Sam Bennett, Matthew Kupacek, and a lot of those guys get that done for the Florida Panthers. That was a great championship run too. So shout out to the back-to-back guys who got it done because it's not easy to get it done back-to-back. We got a lot of different categories here, so I want to choose, and I'm gonna just kind of put you guys on the spot, fellas. Jamar, though, Jamar, I'm gonna go with you, bro, for the coach of the year. Um, Kerry, for you, I'm gonna go with the greatest team, and then Ian, I'm gonna go with you for the best athlete. And so, Jamar, bro, if you had to pick the coach of the year in 2025, that could be Becky Hammond, man. That could be Dave Roberts, the manager
We
of the
know who you gonna go
Dodgers.
with. We know who you
That
gonna
could
go with.
be Ben Johnson.
It's gonna be Ben Johnson.
Right. But come on, Jamar. Let's not be biased here. There could be Rick Carlisle for the Pacers in that run. It could be Stephanie White in the run they have, fellas, in the WNBA playoffs with all the injuries. Paul Maurice, the manager of the Florida Panthers. I mean, Ryan Day, Ohio State head coach. There's so many candidates for coach of the year. And so, Jamar, you got to decide, bro. It can't be a tie. Um, you got to decide, bro. Who is your coach of the year in 2025? Because it's a lot of candidates here, but we want to listen to you. The floor is yours, bro.
I'm playing. I'm I'm gonna go Rick Carlisle. I'm gonna
Okay.
go Rick Carlisle.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't get it done, but I feel like coaching, like to be an excellent coach, I feel like there's a couple of factors. I mean, for one, you have to get the most out of your players and put them in the best position to succeed. Um, and usually the sum of the players, the sum of the players should outweigh the individuals on the team for their success. And the Pacers pretty much were doing that. To take out, if I'm not mistaken, Milwaukee in the first round against Giannis, take out the Cavaliers in the second round, which, that team was no joke at all. and he had one of those signature shots in that series, if I'm not mistaken. For them to go through Madison Square Garden and take out a Knicks team who, I mean, probably we thought was going to make the finals, but
Finally.
yeah. And the Knicks haven't been to where they've been at in 25. Like, one of those teams was going to be the first time they've been in the finals in like 24, 25 years. It was that crazy.
No, because they both had played each other. It was 99 for the Knicks, which they beat the Pacers. And then in 2000, it was the Pacers, of which they beat the Knicks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much history repeating itself on that one. But nevertheless, to get that far, and then also like being the David versus Goliath in the finals, to where everybody thought that the Thunder at that time going against that Pacers team should have just
swept them.
Yep. And it was like pretty much the over under in that series was like how many games? 4.5, 5.5, something of the sort. Not the fact that it went to 7. And
Right.
Brandon, you talk about it all the time, to where the way that Tyrese Halliburton was playing in that first quarter, if I'm not mistaken, he had 9 out the 11 points or something like that to start off with, hit 3 straight threes, just like he was on a mission. Like, had that injury never happened, probably would have won. They probably would have won. But to get not only him, but like, the role players, Nemhard and
Benedict Mathurin.
yes, and it was somebody else.
Who's the little point guard?
TJ McConnell.
TJ McConnell, man. He was crucial. TJ McConnell was crucial.
He was. And then, Pascal Siakam was, the person that kept it steady. And then Miles
Who was the guy
Turner
that used to play
playing
for the Knicks? The Duncan guy with the braids.
Obi Toppin.
Obi Toppin.
Like, just getting the most out of these role players. They were not scared of the moment. That would made their team like excellent. Like, they had guys off the bench that could just come in and get you a quick 10 to 15 points in like 5 minutes. Multiple players. They had guys scoring like on average 8 guys in double figures every night. That's what it felt like. And so for Rick Carlisle to get that out of that team that had, in our opinion, no business even making it that far before the playoffs even started. So that I give him a lot of credit for that. A lot of credit. So
right. Yeah, man. Absolutely. And Kerry, a lot of candidates here. And so Jamar, he gave us his coach of the year. I'm gonna ask you, Kerry, what was the greatest sports team for you this year?
I'd say
the Aces, was it the Dodgers? Was it the Thunder, the Panthers, the Buckeyes? Who was your best team of the year?
I would say the OKC Thunder. I've always backed small market teams. In fact, he had 2 small market teams in the finals, Indiana and OKC. And I when you can do that. And then I also think about OKC at one time had Durant, Harden, and Westbrook in their prime, young prime, and they weren't able to keep that core together. And so to build another core capable through the draft of being able to win an NBA championship and be fairly young. OKC is young to have won the title. I'd have to give the nod to them. I was happy for them. I think Sam Presti is the best general manager in all of basketball. His ability to draft the right players has been, has been phenomenal to see. I root for the underdog kind of in some ways, and small market teams can in some ways be perceived as an underdog. But I'd say OKC.
All right. And just to hit quickly on what Jamar was speaking on for the coach of the year. For me, you mentioned Rick Carlisle. I'm going to mention the ladies' side, Stephanie White, and just carry that run that they had with the Fever was guys, we thought that team would lose to the Dream in the first round. For them to pull it out the way they pulled it out in overtime in Atlanta to win that series, and then to have the classic with the Aces, in which that went 5 games, and I mean, and they had pretty much nobody on the roster. Like you talking about a coaching job, Jamar, that was a coaching job at Stephanie White.
It
And
was.
she's always been a great head coach. She had a lot of great runs with Connecticut, with the ladies over in Connecticut, championship runs, etc. And for her to have literally just Natasha Howard, Luxie Hall, Kelsey Mitchell got put out. Remember, Jamar, she got injured.
Yes.
Caitlin Clark, she
That's
was
right.
injured.
Yep.
I mean, Sophie Cunningham, she was injured. Aaliyah Boston got fouled out. And they still going toe to toe with literally Ian Jones's GOAT, Aja Wilson, and the Aces. And to see them go toe to toe with them, it was just crazy, like crazy. And so I'm really excited to see what that FIBA team look like with a full healthy roster, because they got a great head coach in Stephanie White. What she did was just
Agreed.
immaculate. It was amazing. And so, Ian, bro, the best athlete, man. Who is your best athlete in 2025?
Best athlete in 2025. I got a couple. So I'll say is that 24? No, that's 25. SGA and I'll probably these two. SGA and SGA, Asia, and Saquon Barkley. I think those
Okay.
I think those three.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal year. Just phenomenal year all the way around for all three.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And they end up being
Yep.
champions.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
All of them. Yeah. And so, yeah. Wow. And so there's a lot more we could talk about, guys, in the year for 2025 in review. But as we head now into 2026, it's going to be another great year in sports, as it always is. And we still have to talk a little bit more NFL, because we got to make our picks. And so no NFL reactions and overreactions this morning, but we will talk about the college football playoff, guys. And so college football playoff occurred. I don't know if you guys saw happen, or that you think what happened. I didn't see it happening. But it happened. And so, Jamar, we got to make picks, man, because obviously Ohio State's no longer there. We got to make picks because Georgia's no longer there. And that one shocked me because that was my national champion. And so, Ole Miss, they will play Miami. Okay, Ole Miss versus Miami. After which Miami played a great game, controlled the clock, and they held your Buckeyes in and checked the entire game. The only person they couldn't stop was the best wide receiver in college football, Jeremiah Smith. He looked like a grown man. But other than that, the Buckeyes can do nothing. And so Miami will take Miami, right, guys. They will play Ole Miss.
Yep.
And so, Jamar, if you had to pick, who would you like to see, or who do you think will win? Because these are both great stories here, Miami and Ole Miss. Miami's back, and Ole Miss is without Lane Kiffin.
They are, man. Like I'm always on the train of college football is better when the U is relevant. That's just for me. And I did not see that one coming. Not in the fashion that it happened.
I did. I think Indiana. It was funny. I told my best friend that day before the game. I didn't even watch the game. I told him. I said, don't be surprised if Miami come out and dominate the trenches. I think Indiana showed you how to beat Ohio State in that Big Ten championship. And when I seen what was going on, I said, yeah, I'm not surprised. Because Miami D line and both sides of the trenches.
Shout out to Jonathan Taylor, by the way, guys, former
Yeah,
NFL legend.
yep.
Yeah.
They are explosive and they cause a lot of ruckus. And when you dominate the trenches, just like we seen Indiana dominate Alabama, you dominate the trenches, it's easy. You can do anything you want to do.
Yeah, you're right. This one is tough because I'm loving the story. I'm loving the story of Ole Miss. Like
Yeah.
I was thinking about it yesterday with my coworker. Like, what if they go on to win it all without Lane Kiffin? Like, what would that tell? Like, what would that say?
Right.
So
You would have to give him his just due for him getting them there. Granted, he left the way he did.
He didn't get them there.
But it's crazy
but he helped build that program though.
Yeah, build the
He
program.
helped build
yeah.
the program.
But it's crazy if they win it off, he's still gonna get paid. Like he just got paid the other day, 100,000. That is
So
crazy.
he's definitely motivated.
He definitely motivated. Yeah, no, for sure. He definitely motivated them. I think that team has taken on a role of we did this, not you. And I think they got that chip on their shoulder, and that was a big win for them in a hell of a game the other night. And I think, man,
To be mighty Georgia is tough on
Yeah.
any given Saturday.
on any
It's
given
tough
night.
to beat
Yeah.
Georgia.
So Miami, I mean, it's gonna be a battle of the trenches between Miami and Ole Miss. I'm not so sure that Miami can sustain. I don't know offensively, but Carson Beck he gonna have to come to play to probably beat Ole Miss. You can't have
Right,
one
I
of
can
those
see that,
lackluster
yeah.
games.
He gonna have to play. He gonna have to put up
Yeah.
some points. Right.
I'm a pick. I don't have the warm and fuzzies. I'm gonna pick the U. I don't have the warm and fuzzies at all.
All right. Imagine a U in a national championship and all them legends
Yeah.
on the sideline going crazy for the U. Imagine that. And so, and we're gonna save you for last, bro. Kerry, Miami and Ole Miss. Who do you think is gonna come out of this game?
You know what? I think it's a toss up. I really do. I kind of like Ole Miss overall offensively. I think I'll take them. In the other game, I would say that Jamar missed out on, and we all did actually, on the Coach of the Year, and that's Cignetti of Indiana.
Indiana. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you talk about a coach. My goodness, they were considered one of the worst football programs in the entire country. The entire country.
It's probably
And,
2-3 years ago. Yep.
Yes, and he's done a wonderful job, and I kind of think they may beat Oregon. I think any of the four teams can win. I really do. When you get to this point in the season, I wouldn't be surprised, for any result. I do like Indiana though.
Yeah. Okay. And what about between Miami and Ole Miss?
Ole Miss.
Okay, Ole Miss. All right. And so, bro, Miami and Ole Miss.
I want to pick. I'm not gonna lie. I want to pick Miami, but that offense, I'm not a big believer in. I don't know. I know they can run the ball, with Mark Fletcher, but I'm not a big fan of Carson Beck, and I like this kid, Chambliss from Ole Miss. He had a hell of a game the other night. He made some
He
great
did, didn't he?
throws. Athletic kid. Yeah, I'm gonna go Ole Miss. I'm gonna go Ole Miss in the closer game. I'm gonna go Ole Miss in the closer game.
All right. And so Kerry looks like he picked Indiana. Talk about Indiana and how they beat. Now, I was here trying to persuade Ian and Jamar last Saturday that Indiana will run into an SEC foe and they would be tougher, bigger, stronger. Man, that was the complete opposite. Indiana beat the brakes off of Alabama. and they proved to the country, hey, this ain't no fluke. We are the real freaking
we're the
deal. We
deal.
are here.
Mhm.
I mean, to beat Alabama, the way that Alabama is supposed to
Dominate.
be Alabama. It's supposed to be Alabama.
Yeah, they didn't look like
Man,
Alabama. They didn't look like it the other day.
And I think that was just Indiana. That was just Indiana, man. And when you mentioned the coach of the year, thank you for mentioning that because that's why
Yeah.
we say other on those categories. That's why we say other for guys like the Indiana head coach. And so, wow. Jamar, man, is Indiana going to the national championship? Are you persuaded? They are going to face a familiar foe in which they went up to Eugene and beat Oregon 30-20 and shocked the world at that moment because people were like, okay, Indiana might be the real deal. Who you got for this one, bro? Oregon, Indiana, and the Peach Bowl.
It pains for me to say it, but I'm going Indiana. And apparently the top two quarterbacks of this quote unquote upcoming draft are in this game. So,
Right.
Indiana,
Yeah.
Indiana,
And
though.
Kerry, you got Indiana as well, right?
I do.
Yes. And Ian, bro, Oregon, Indiana. Do Oregon get revenge?
I'm gonna go Indiana. I think Indiana has defied the odds all year. You know, like you said, nobody probably thought they were gonna go to Eugene and win. They had a crazy comeback against Penn State on the road.
Right.
Then they come out in the Big Ten championship. They take down
Nobody
Ohio
thought they were
State.
going to win that either.
Yeah, they take down Ohio State. But I will say this: it's tough to beat a good team twice in a year. So I won't necessarily think they'll dominate, but I'm gonna get an edge to Indiana. I think Indiana is the best team in the country right now.
Right.
That still sounds weird
And
to me.
yeah, and that's hard. That is hard to say.
Yeah, it
But
is.
like I said, like a couple weeks ago, they brought that whole team back. They only really lost what two? I think they lost two games last year. They lost to the national championship runner-up, and they lost to Ohio State. So they brought that whole team back, and they playing with a chip on their shoulder. And just like we feel like it's not the right thing to say, like Indiana's the best team in the country, they running with that chip on their shoulder, and they playing like it
You know,
every week, no matter who they play.
I don't think they have one 5-star recruit on this team.
Nope.
Not one. And
Wow.
that says something.
Yeah. That team has truly bought in, and they are locked in. They playing with the chip on their shoulder, and they coming
Yeah.
out and they dominating the line of scrimmage, and they just making it look easy. So I'm gonna go Indiana. It is hard to beat a team twice, it's, in one season, but I'm gonna go Indiana. I won't be surprised if they dominate Oregon this time, but I'll go Indiana.
Right. Lannon and that offense. Lannon is a great head coach too
He
over
is.
at Oregon.
Yeah, he
He's
is.
a great head coach over there, and that's a great program. So we'll see what
Before
happens.
before you go on, all of those coaches that's in the top four come from the Nick Saban tree. It's crazy, right?
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you for pointing that out.
That's crazy.
Thank you for pointing that out. All
That's
the head
crazy.
coaches come from the Nick Saban coaching tree, and
Yep.
so it's going to be very, very intriguing. And so Indiana, I don't know. I hate to be pessimistic. I just think they're going to fall short of the Natty. It'll be a great story. I just think they're going to fall short at some point, either this game or the next game. But it's a great story. And so, anywho, shout out to Indiana, man. I mean, wow. Okay, so NFL picks week 18. We got to make our picks, fellas. We got a lot of big games taking place today and tomorrow, and we got to pick them. And so, Jamar, we're going to start with you, then follow up with you, Kerry, and then follow up with you, Ian. Starting with the NFC South Championship Series, Game 2, final decisive Game 2. Carolina took Game 1, but they didn't take care of business last week against Seattle. Seattle throttled them in Carolina. The Bucks, they've just been on a terrible sled. I mean, everybody been seeing the Bucks lose a lot lately, and they look abysmal. But they are at home, right? And they can right the ship, Jamar. They can go 8-9, and win the NFC South.
And host.
And so, right, and host a playoff game to get whooped. But anyhow, Panthers Buccaneers, NFC South Championship Series Game 2. Who you got for this one, bro?
All right, just so you know, a couple things here. Bucks are favored by 3. Over under is 43.5. And do you know that this is not technically a winner take all game anymore? You know why?
Right, because the Falcons.
Yep, the team that I picked last week, y'all looked at me crazy, but okay. But yeah, the Falcons ruined all of that. So Buccaneers got to win and hope the Falcons lose. As crazy as that sounds.
Right. And so if the Buccaneers win and the Falcons win, then the Falcons are the NFC South champions.
No, Falcons are eliminated. But
Right, they can't get in the playoffs. Right. So explain that to me. That's a little bizarre because I heard it. Because I'm like, it's impossible for the Falcons getting the playoffs. So why the hell is it the NFC Championship Series? And so
because the tiebreakers are so crazy because it's like
in the NFC South, right?
And then like percentage of common, like the winning percentage or your best record against common opponents, some crazy like that. But apparently, when the Falcons won on Monday night, it threw all this in the whack.
Right, and so even if the Buccaneers win and the Falcons win, the Panthers will be the NFC South champions.
Correct. So the Panthers got 2 ways of getting in. Right.
Which gives them very high odds at this point, especially based off of how Atlanta's been playing lately. But who you got for this one, Jamar? You got the Bucks or Panthers?
I'm gonna take one of Ian's 15 teams. I'm gonna go with the Panthers here.
All right, yeah, because the Bucks look like they're just all in shambles right now. The whole team. Kerry, Bucks, Panthers.
Panthers.
And Ian, Bucks, Panthers. Is Ian there?
Okay.
Let's see. So
I think he stepped off.
Ian's screen is off. So okay. Ian to give us
a
pick a little bit later.
Now we can.
Yeah, we can hear you, bro. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
You there? Yeah.
Yep, we can hear you.
I said I'm gonna pick the Panthers, but I definitely wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks win though. But I'm gonna go with the Panthers. I don't have the warm and fuzzies on that.
Right. I'm gonna go with the Bucks being at home just to cause even more crazy drama in NFC South. So, I mean, if you're in the NFC South in 2026, Kerry, all 4 teams should definitely believe that they have a chance.
Yeah.
Because based off of how this season went, it's wide open. It's just wide open. Speaking of another wide open division, Seahawks and 49ers. Jamar, who you got for this one?
All right. Seahawks is favored 2.5 on the road, 47.5 over under.
Seahawks are favored, really.
For bias and unbiased purposes, I'm picking Seattle.
Okay.
I think overall they're a better team. Their defense is definitely a lot better than the Niners. And I guess it always comes down to Sam Darnold at this point. But nevertheless, I think Seattle wins. And also, I would want Seattle to win because I'd be darned if every game in the playoffs is hosted by the 49ers. So therefore, no, even the Super Bowl's in Santa Clara. Nope, not doing it. Go Seahawks.
Which is crazy. If they if they go and run a table.
Right. Yeah. Kerry, Seahawks and Niners.
Seahawks defense is one of the top 5 in all of football, and I think that proves too much for San Francisco. Seattle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, talk about spoiler if Seattle goes in and spoil this. Ian,
I'm gonna go Seattle as well. I like their defense, but I will say Sam Darnold has to come to play. He hasn't been playing particularly that well as of lately, but I do still think they get the job done.
yeah. I'm gonna go with the Niners guys at home. Packers, Vikings, Jamar.
All right. So Minnesota is favored by 9.5, 36.5 over under. Um, yeah, I'm gonna take quote unquote 9 and the Vikings to win this game.
Even if Jordan Love played, I think the Vikings, based off of how they've been playing lately, man, they've been on one lately. They the team that we thought they could have been. At least as of late, that defense has been hellacious. Kerry, yeah, and speaking of, just really quickly, Brian Flores deserves a job. He deserves one. Come on, man. Like, come on.
He
Uh,
does. Yeah.
yeah, like, come on. It doesn't take a blind man to see that. He deserves a job. Kerry, so Packers, Vikings.
I think I'll take the Vikings. The Packers are starting their third string quarterback, I guess, and I think Minnesota's been playing some good football. I'll take the Vikings.
Yeah, and
Um, I can't pick the Packers for nothing. I'll take the Vikings.
Good job. I like
yeah, I'm
something.
gonna pick the Vikings too. No, I'm not. Look, I just had to pick them a couple weeks ago and they won. So I didn't pick them last time against the Bears. And so yeah. All right, and so we all got the Vikings, right?
Yeah. I
Yep.
hope the next one's never mind. Go ahead.
All right, and so Colts, Texans. The Colts could actually end up being below 500, which is sad because at one point of the season they were viewed as a very good football team. They are going to Houston to take on the Texans. So Jamar, who you got for this one?
Well, Vegas likes Houston because they got them favored by 10, 38.5 over under. I'm definitely taking Houston. Houston can still technically win the division. I don't see it happening, but they can.
Yeah, definitely coming down between them and the Jaguars. Kerry, Colts, Texans.
Texans, most dangerous team in the NFL right now.
I believe.
Texans.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In
I'm gonna go Texans as well. The Texans have been balling. They expect that that's a Super Bowl defense right
Legit.
It
Yeah.
is.
right. Yeah, yeah. Jamar, you can pull out the button, bro.
there.
Voila. Yes. And so Cowboys, Giants. Who you got for this one, Jamar?
Whew, we are in MetLife Stadium for this one. Dallas is favored by 3.5, 49.5 over under. I think Cowboys down to like that third string running back. They should win, but it's in New York. You know what? Give me the Giants. I don't care. Give me the Giants.
Okay. Kerry, Cowboys, Giants.
This is one of those nobody cares games. I think I'm going to take the Giants, though. I think, who knows? Whatever team wants to show up and play and win. I mean, and really at this point in the season, that's what it boils down to. I think Dart's I think he's going to have a good game, and I think I'll take the Giants.
He's been playing pretty decent. He just got to learn how to stop taking so many hits.
Yeah.
Ian.
I'm gonna go the Cowgirls on this one.
Yeah, I'm with Ian. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys, Cowgirls, whatever I'm calling them. I think they get it done. Dak Prescott stating he's playing, so I think that's the difference here. So give me the Cowboys. Browns at the Bengals. Shedeur Sanders get his final start. And on the other hand, Joe Burrow is motivated to just win games and finish out the season. Jamar, who you got for this one?
Vegas likes Cincinnati, 7.5 point favorite, 44.5 over under. I'm going to take the Bengals. Listen.
Yeah. Kerry?
Bengals, Chase Brown, most underrated running back in all of football, U of I grad. Bengals
Mhm.
are setting the stage for a strong year next year by winning at home against the Browns.
Why do the Bengals always do this, Kerry? Why do they always
Well,
do this?
it's all about their quarterback getting hurt, and that's another small market franchise that the administration has failed them so many times. And I want Joe Burrow to succeed. And the first thing I said off this morning was where that quarterback lands is so pivotal in their career. And
Mhm.
for instance, if Joe Burrow would have landed in Kansas City, can you imagine? They would have done exactly the same
Oh
thing.
man.
I mean,
Oh man.
he is.
Yeah.
I think Joe is probably, by all accounts, a top three quarterback, maybe even the best. And I'd like to see
Wow.
him. I'd like to see him get it right again because they went to the Super Bowl not that long ago,
Yep.
and he was healthy that whole year. That's why.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. They've
I
had
don't
they've
think he's been healthy in a full
No,
year since that
that's his
yeah,
year.
he's had the
problem.
turf toe.
That's
He
his
had to,
problem.
yeah,
But when he's
yeah.
healthy, they're in the championship game. When
Oh
he's
yeah,
healthy.
yeah.
Yeah. And so when he's healthy, he's going toe to toe and taking down the best quarterbacks, best teams. I mean, you saw just what he was doing to Buffalo a couple weeks back. I mean, it was to see how they played against the Bears, guys, right? And then to see when Joe Burrow's on the field, Jamar, and how they compete with the Bills. It's just like, wow, how crazy and how important a quarterback is for a team, and how
Yeah.
different the Bengals look when he's on the field. Defense just absolute trash, Jamar. But yet they're in the game with the Bills in Buffalo when he's on the field. Voila, just amazing how a quarterback can change a whole team. And so, Ian, bro, Browns, Bengals. Who you got for that one?
I'm gonna go Bengals. Bengals
Yeah.
probably
And
in the
so,
blowout.
Jamar, yeah, you probably could pull out the button, dog.
All right.
Cancun!
Voila. Saints at Falcons. Big implications here for the NFC South. Who you got for this one, Jamar?
Well, Atlanta's favored by 3.5, 43.5 over under. Thing is, if Chris Olave never had that blood clot in the lung and was actually on the field and stuff, I'd probably be very tempted to pick the Saints because this Tyler Shuck dude has been balling.
Been balling the last couple weeks. Yep.
He's probably trying to solidify himself as the starter going forward, and he's playing like it.
Absolutely, he is.
With that being said, without him, and the way the Falcons have been playing lately, it's like people trying to play for their jobs and stuff. I'm gonna go with Atlanta here.
Yeah. Kerry?
Falcons at home.
Yeah. Ian?
I'm gonna go Falcons. Falcons. Bijan is special. I think Bijan have another big game.
Yeah. I'm going with the Falcons too. I'm persuaded by them, man. When they got their weapons and they're clicking, they are good. I just don't see how it don't result in wins, but
Cancun!
yeah, there you go.
Quarterback play.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. That's been the biggest question mark for the Falcons the last couple of years. It's really been the quarterback. Who's going to be the quarterback? Yep. And so Titans at the Jaguars. Jamar, who you got for this one?
I'm going to take a guess and say this is a Cancun, but Jags are favored by 13.5, 47.5 over under. You know who I'm taking.
Yeah, I mean, guys, is this a Cancun?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm taking the Jag.
Yeah. So Jamar, you can go ahead and do the honor. Voila. Yes. Jets at Bills. Is this another Cancun, Jamar, or somebody got the Jets pulling off an upset?
Nah, another Cancun.
Just so people are aware, Bills are favored by 7.5, 37.5 over under. And if you give me a second here, we'll hear her voice one more time.
Voila. Yes. Yeah, shout out to Tiana. Additionally, the Lions at Bears. Who you got for this one, Jamar?
Well. Bears are favored by 3, 50.5 over under. I've been very
One up.
consistent all year. You see the picture behind me, the hat that I'm wearing, the hoodie that I'm wearing. Ian, you still welcome to come home. You still have room. You got possessions. Stop being a fake Lions fan. Come back and be a real Bears fan. Bear down.
Yes, Kerry. Lions, Bears.
I tell you what, the Lions have let me down. My fantasy football team, I won by less than half of a point for the championship, partly because Jameer Gibbs didn't show up the last couple weeks. I think the Lions. I'm gonna shock you guys. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna say the Lions are gonna upset the Bears. I think they rally around Dan
Wow.
Campbell, and I think they rally. I really do. I think they've underachieved, and I think they rally and win.
All right. Yeah. And Ian, bro. Is this a hard pick for you or what, man?
No, I'm gonna go with the Lions. I think the Lions rally. Our season is over, but I think they put it together this last game, man. I think the Bears. I think the Bears probably are looking ahead. I'm gonna take the Lions on this one.
I mean, it'd be kind of a good thing if the Bears lose
See
because
what
they
I'm saying?
avoid Green Bay.
No,
But
no,
at the
no,
same time,
we're not doing that.
the Bears have a new identity with this head coach. So I don't think the Bears are running from any smoke. But I do think the Lions give us all that we can handle, man. Like, really, I think Jameer Gibbs and Jared Goff, for some reason, they're going to be super motivated to come play against the Bears. They're going to be super motivated to win this game and to put some damps in their playoff seeding for the Bears, being that they're not going to win a division and not going to the playoffs. They're pissed off about that. Why not play spoiler, right? And this is the perfect offense to come in and get hot. But based off of how they looked last week against the Vikings, I don't know, Jamar, if I'm confident in the Lions. They looked abysmal versus the Vikings.
They did.
I mean, that was one of the worst offensive showings I've seen ever. They had about 3 or 4 turnovers and 4 dropbacks. And 4 dropbacks, it was 3 turnovers. I don't recall ever seeing that even in Madden. And so, like, the Lions are going through something, man. And I think they miss Ben Johnson. And Ben Johnson, this is your opportunity to let them know, bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. And so this is huge for the Bears in a number of ways because, as we've been stating, Kerry, it's time for us to let these division foes, such as the Lions and Packers, know that we're here to stay. The Bears got to win this game in Chicago to send a message to the Lions. This is huge. And I don't care if it's for the regular season or whatever. This is a huge game for a variety of reasons. They got to take care of the Lions.
Yes.
They got to stand up to Big Brother. Yeah.
You can't go into the playoffs losing 2 in a row. You have to avenge your 50 to 20-something point game in week 2. You got to let Dan Campbell know that I'm going to run up the table. I'm going to run up the scoreboard like you did on us the first week. I'm going to have Caleb Williams get the first 4,000 yards passing in the Bears history. Like, there's so many incentives for the Bears to run this up, and I feel like the Lions are probably going to give them a good 1/2 because that team is depleted. That defense is done. Amon-Ra barely on an ankle right now. They don't even run the ball anymore. Like, they're done. They're done.
Defense got to show up. You got to get. This is the game where the defense got to get some takeaways. Come on, this is the game.
You
got to get some takeaways against. Right. Come on, you got to take care of the Lions here. You got to. Chargers, Broncos. So the Broncos guys have locked up the AFC West. So this is good for the Broncos. The Chargers, on the other hand, correct me if I'm wrong, Jamar, but the division's already wrapped up, right? And the home field is being decided still this weekend between the Pats and the Broncos. And so it's a big game for the Broncos. And for the Chargers, I don't know if it's really a big game for them because they already are locked into the playoffs. It's just that they have to maybe win for confidence purposes. So I guess
I
Go
would
ahead.
say a lot of what you said is accurate. Um, so all three of the wild card teams are 11-5 in the AFC. So I mean, seeding is definitely at play. Justin Herbert is not playing, so I
Okay.
and the number one seed is still up between the Broncos, the Patriots, and technically the Jags as well. So
Right. And so for this one, who you got, Jamar? Is this a
all right, so
Cancun or you
yeah,
got the Chargers?
no. I'm definitely picking Denver. There is. I mean, I'm not picking Trey Lance.
Yeah, me
Broncos are
neither.
favored by 13.5, 37.5 over under. Bo knows. Give me the Broncos.
Yeah, Carrie.
Broncos.
Yeah.
Herbert's being
And
rested. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, I'll hit the button.
And
I'm gonna go Broncos. I think Bo Nix and Sean Payton is a match made in heaven. Surprisingly,
yes.
Better than Sean
Yeah.
and Russ.
yeah.
Yeah, so Jamar. There you go. Chiefs at Raiders, Jamar. Somebody got to win this game unless they tie.
This is ugly. Hold on. Give me a second. Oh, there we go. All right. So Vegas still likes Kansas City 5.5 point favorite on the road, 36.5 over under. The Raiders are like trying to get the number one draft pick. So I'm going to pick Kansas City by default. The Raiders will find a way to lose this game. Hella high water. They will lose this game.
Carrie?
I'm going to take the Raiders. They've always played the Chiefs tough, regardless of the circumstances, and they're at home. They're pitiful, but I think they'll win. I don't know why, but I'm gonna pick them to win.
Yeah, that'd be a great win for the Raiders to spoil the Chiefs. Final
That'd be a
game.
terrible win for the Raiders.
I know, right? It'd just be but that's the oxymoron of it, bro.
I mean, they probably would do
the
that.
Raiders. The Raiders are just the Raiders. What can you say, man?
They need to lose to get that quarterback they want.
I agree. We've been talking about it on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast for weeks that Geno Smith is not it, and so it makes total sense. But the Raiders gonna come out and kick the Chiefs' ass. Excuse my French. And who you got, bro?
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs on this one. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. The Chiefs should win this game, but we'll see. Dolphins at the Patriots. You shouldn't. Dolphins at the Patriots. Quinn Ewers. Quinn is another. Did he go to U of I, guys, as well?
No, Texas.
Okay, Texas. Okay. Okay. This kid has been playing decent football for Miami. But they go up against the Patriots. So, who you got for this one, Jamar?
Vegas likes New England. 11.5 point favorite, 45.5 over under. I'm gonna go New England.
Carrie? Okay, let's see if Carrie hears me. I think Carrie might have stepped away for a moment. And Ian, what you got for this one, bro?
I got the Pats easy.
Yeah, give me the Pats too. So Jamar, I think you can pull out the button, dog.
Yeah, fingers getting a workout here this morning.
Yep. And so let's keep going. Jerry said he lost his feed, so we'll see if he comes back. Commanders, Eagles. Eagles are still battling for playoff seeding. Who you got for this one, Jamar?
Eagles are favored by 4.5, 38.5 over under. I think the Eagles are resting their whole offense. It's McKees versus Josh Johnson. I'm gonna take the Commanders. Eagles ain't treating this
Okay.
game for real.
Yeah. And
I'm gonna go Commanders. Commanders.
okay.
It's Commanders.
Okay. Yep. For me, I'm gonna go with the
I know
defense
you're
for the
picking the
Commanders.
Eagles.
If they're still playing, yeah. If Bobby Wagner's still in the middle, why would I pick the Commanders? No, seriously, fellas. And so that's been cake and cookies all season. And so
Hey.
I think even Josh Johnson gonna come out and get some cookies, man. I mean, hey, they're right there. So give me the
Brandon, that's pretty hard.
EAGLES. No, it's not to be harsh. It's just you watch the game and you see what happens on the offensive side of the ball. Every offense is ate good versus the Commanders defense. It's true. Every offense, everybody. So even Jamar can get some yards out there. And so give me the Eagles, man. Give me the Eagles. There's not to be biased here. On the other hand, the Cardinals and Rams. The Rams are battling for playoff positioning. But I know they can't afford a loss here if they want to solidify themselves as a higher seed potentially. Who you got for this one, bro? Rams are at home, by the way, Jamar.
Rams are 8.5-point favorite, 46.5 over under. I don't know if they.
But
can
they're not
really-
motivated because they're resting their whole team, right? Their whole starters, all their starters, or
Yeah, I don't know if they can really move up like that. That's
okay,
the issue.
yeah. Okay, so they're locked in the what, 5 seed?
6. I think they're locked in 6.
Okay.
I'm gonna confirm that. I'm gonna take the Cardinals, but
Okay.
I'm gonna take the Cardinals.
Yeah, because when we look at the scenario, and then
I'm gonna go Rams on this one.
me too. I'm gonna go with the Rams just because the Cardinals, I don't know what to expect from them. So yeah, give me the Rams at home. And then lastly, Ravens at Steelers, big game here. The loser head coach here, Jamar, probably could be losing their job, bro.
Yeah, I don't see it though in that regard. If they quote unquote lose their job, it'd be a mutual part ways. But
Okay.
I don't see it with either one. But I get the narrative that's out there. Ravens favorite on the road 3.5, 41.5 over under. I mean, Lamar's playing, TJ Watt's playing. But I told Deshaun a couple weeks ago, if the Steelers don't make the playoffs, they're gonna blame it on DK Metcalf for not being there.
Right.
Because Aaron Rodgers literally has nobody to throw the ball to.
Literally, they look
just
awful versus Cleveland. That offense looked awful.
I feel like the Ravens should definitely win this game, but I'm gonna pick the Steelers for somehow, some way. I feel like they gonna make a way. It's just guys that feeling. They, for whatever reason, they do play Lamar tough. They do. They don't like back down. So yeah, I'm going Steelers. Don't have the warm fuzzies, but I just think something just tells me that they gonna win.
All right. And Ravens Steelers. I think Ian might be having a little problem with his volume.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Ian.
I'm going Ravens in a blowout.
Dang.
The Steelers are they over with. Aaron Rodgers is cooked. You need to go sit down. You need to go retire. I think Derrick Henry has a big day, and I think they put Aaron Rodgers to bed. Go home, Roger.
Yo.
And if he loses, I think that'll be his last game as an NFL player and definitely as a Steeler. I got the Ravens, man, based off of just who the Ravens should have been. Man, if Derrick Henry can run the ball, I'm here to put this out here right now on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. If they take care of the Steelers and Derrick Henry have his way, that will be a team that will be dangerous going into the AFC playoffs. Just want to put that out there. And so, yes, well, that concludes our picks. And so, fellas, as always, it's always great. And so, guys, as we head into the weekend, are there any final thoughts or shout outs as we head into the weekend? Any final thoughts or shout outs, fellas? Let's start with you, Jamar.
I will say that well, we're our first show of 26. We made it through the year of 25. That was definitely an experience there. For 26, I definitely want everybody to grow and prosper and achieve goals that you probably didn't think you can achieve, and reach maybe new statuses in life that you didn't think you can get to, or you can get to if you just put in the work. Regardless, I just want everybody to be successful.
Yeah. Yep. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Yes. And any final thoughts or shout outs as we head into the weekend?
Yeah, man. New year, new blessings. Like Jamar said, I hope everybody stay prosperous this year. We should have some big things coming this year, man. Man, let's just keep it going and let's just be great for 26.
Yes. Yep. And so, fellas, always a pleasure. Thanks to Carrie. Carrie got cut off, but I'm sure Carrie will be back rocking with us as well. And so, yeah, support this stream. We have purchase for merchandise that is ready and it's fly. Additionally, as 2026 go through, blessings to you all. Work put in, God first, everything else will fall into place. And other than that, like Ian and Jamar says, be great. And so, that being said, on behalf of the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, we would like to say thank you for tuning in with us this morning. Continue to chop it up with us and support our podcast on various platforms. And if you are and would love to talk sports with us on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, we are here and would love to do so with you. Your love, support is truly appreciated. We hope you all have a blessed and safe weekend. Peace.